I nearly choked when I overheard my wife laughing on the phone with her friend saying, "David is so naive. He gave me his entire bonus for home renovations while I'm spending it on luxury hotels with Marcus. He thinks I'm working overtime." I couldn't believe the woman I trusted with our finances was stealing my hard-earned money to fund her affair. My name is David. I'm a senior software engineer from Austin. And this is how one overheard phone call led me to expose the most calculated financial betrayal that cost my wife everything she thought she was so clever to steal. For 3 months, I watched $45,000 of my performance bonus disappear while Jennifer showed me fake contractor estimates and made up stories about renovation delays. She was living like a millionaire on my money while I worked overtime believing I was investing in our future together. But when I discovered the truth, I didn't get emotional or make threats. I used my technical skills to document every stolen dollar, every lie, and every moment of her deception until I had enough evidence to destroy her life through the legal system. By the end of this video, you'll see how I made sure she faced criminal charges, lost her job, went to jail, and paid back every penny she stole plus interest and penalties. This is how one man's refusal to be a financial victim led to the most satisfying legal revenge that proved crime never pays. I had been working as a senior software engineer at a major tech company in Austin for 8 years. And last March I received the biggest performance bonus of my career, $45,000 after taxes. My wife Jennifer and I had been married for 12 years, and when I told her about the bonus, she immediately got excited about finally renovating our outdated kitchen and master bathroom. We had been talking about these improvements for years, but never had the extra money to make them happen. Jennifer worked as a marketing coordinator for a local advertising agency, making decent money but nothing compared to my tech salary. She had always been responsible with finances, or at least I thought she was, so when she asked if she could handle the renovation project management and contractor payments, I didn't hesitate to transfer the entire bonus to our joint account and told her to take the lead. I was grateful that she wanted to manage the project because my work schedule was incredibly demanding, and I knew nothing about construction or home improvement. For 3 months, Jennifer showed me contractor estimates, paint samples, and renovation timelines that looked completely professional and legitimate. She said the project was moving slowly because of permit delays and material shortages, which made perfect sense given everything I'd heard about the construction industry being backed up since the pandemic. She would leave early in the morning claiming to meet with contractors and suppliers, spend entire days supposedly managing the renovation work, and come home exhausted from dealing with workers and coordinating deliveries. But here's what should have been a major red flag that I completely missed. I never actually saw any renovation work happening in our house. Jennifer always had perfectly reasonable excuses for why I couldn't visit during work hours or check on the progress. She said the contractors didn't want homeowners around for safety and liability reasons, or that they were at a delicate stage where interruptions would cause delays and cost overruns. When I suggested stopping by on weekends to see how things were progressing, she told me the crews didn't work weekends and that all the materials and tools were locked up securely in our garage. The day that changed everything was a Thursday afternoon in June. I had left my laptop charger at home that morning and decided to drive back during my lunch break to grab it instead of ordering a new one online. I used my garage remote to enter the house quietly, not wanting to disturb Jennifer if she was on an important work call or conference with contractors. As I headed upstairs to my home office to get the charger, I heard her voice coming from our bedroom, laughing loudly like she was having the most entertaining conversation of her life. What I heard next made my blood run cold. "David is so naive," she was saying in a tone I had never heard before, full of contempt and amusement. "He actually gave me his entire $45,000 performance bonus for home renovations while I'm spending every penny of it on luxury hotels with Marcus. He thinks I'm working overtime and managing contractors, but I'm actually having the best sex of my life while my stupid husband funds the whole thing." I heard more laughter, both from Jennifer and whoever she was talking to on the phone. Then she continued, "The poor guy keeps asking me about renovation progress and timeline updates, and I just show him random photos I found on Pinterest and make up elaborate stories about permit delays and supply chain issues. He's so trusting and so focused on his work that he doesn't even question why he's never seen a single contractor, never heard any construction noise, and never seen any actual renovation work being done in his own house." I stood frozen in the hallway, feeling like someone had reached into my chest and ripped out my heart. My wife wasn't just cheating on me with someone named Marcus, she was systematically stealing my entire performance bonus to fund their affair while making me believe I was investing in our future home. She was laughing about my trust and my work ethic like they were the most pathetic character flaws she had ever encountered. The woman I had shared my life with for 12 years was treating me like a complete fool while robbing me blind. Instead of confronting Jennifer immediately like every instinct in my body was screaming at me to do, I forced myself to think like the software engineer I was trained to be. I needed data, I needed comprehensive evidence, and I needed to understand the complete scope of her deception before taking any action that might tip her off. If she was sophisticated enough to steal $45,000 over 3 months while maintaining such an elaborate cover story, I had to assume she was also smart enough to destroy evidence and cover her tracks if she suspected I knew the truth. That evening, while Jennifer sat next to me on the couch pretending everything was completely normal and showing me more fake renovation updates on her tablet, I was internally planning the most comprehensive digital investigation of my entire career. I had legitimate access to all our shared financial accounts, our joint cloud storage systems, and our family phone plan, which meant I had every legal right to examine the digital footprint of what I now knew was systematic theft. Step 1 was conducting a forensic analysis of our bank account transactions for the past 3 months. I exported every single transaction into a detailed spreadsheet and categorized each expense by type, date, and merchant. What I discovered made me physically sick to my stomach. There were absolutely no contractor payments, no material purchases from home improvement stores, no permit fees paid to the city, and nothing whatsoever related to legitimate home renovation work. Instead, there were hundreds of charges to luxury hotels, expensive restaurants, weekend getaways to romantic destinations, and even purchases from high-end jewelry stores that I had never heard of. The hotel charges alone totaled over $15,000, all at upscale establishments like the Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, and boutique hotels that cost $300 to $400 per night. The restaurant expenses were equally outrageous, showing visits to 5-star steakhouses, exclusive wine bars, and romantic bistros that Jennifer and I had never been to together in our entire marriage. Step 2 was recovering her deleted digital communications using techniques I had learned in my cybersecurity training. Using my administrative access to our shared cloud backup system, I restored all her deleted text messages, emails, call logs, and photo data from the past 6 months. What I found was a detailed digital record of her affair and the elaborate system of lies she had constructed to hide her theft from me. There were literally hundreds of text messages between Jennifer and someone named Marcus, planning their luxury hotel meetups and laughing about how easy it was to manipulate me. In one particularly sickening message thread, Marcus wrote, "I still can't believe your husband is actually paying for all our 5-star dates and romantic getaways. Does he really think you're supervising construction workers all day?" Jennifer's response made me want to throw my laptop across the room. He's so obsessed with his coding projects that he doesn't pay attention to anything happening in the real world. I could probably steal twice as much money and he'd never notice until it was too late. The most damaging piece of evidence was a voice message Jennifer had sent to Marcus immediately after I transferred the bonus money to our joint account. In her own voice, she said, "Mission accomplished, baby. My idiot husband just transferred $45,000 into our account for fake renovations that will never happen. We can live like absolute royalty for the next 6 months while he thinks I'm being a responsible wife managing our home improvement project. This is going to be the best summer of our lives and he's paying for every minute of it." Step 3 was installing legal monitoring software on all our shared devices and accounts. Since I was the primary account holder on our phone plan and the legal owner of our home computer network, I had every right to monitor digital activity for security and fraud prevention purposes. I installed comprehensive tracking software that would log her real-time location, record phone conversations, capture screenshots of her online activities, and create detailed reports of how she was spending time and money that she claimed was being used for our home renovation project. Within just 2 weeks of systematic investigation, I had gathered irrefutable evidence that Jennifer had been running a sophisticated fraud operation using my performance bonus as her personal entertainment fund while conducting an affair that she funded entirely with money stolen from her own husband. Over the next 2 weeks, I gathered evidence that proved Jennifer had been running the most sophisticated fraud operation I could have imagined. The GPS tracking software revealed that instead of visiting contractors and renovation supply stores like she claimed, she was spending full 8-hour days at Marcus's luxury apartment complex and high-end hotels across Austin. Her phone call recordings captured detailed planning sessions where she and Marcus discussed how to maximize their time together while maintaining the perfect illusion that she was working on legitimate home improvement projects. I discovered that Marcus was a personal trainer at an exclusive upscale gym who specialized in wealthy clients and charged premium rates for private fitness sessions. According to his social media profiles and public records, he was recently divorced and living in a luxury downtown apartment that cost over $3,000 per month. The bitter irony was that Marcus genuinely believed Jennifer was a wealthy, successful businesswoman and was attracted to her apparent financial independence, having no idea that every dollar she spent on him was stolen from her unsuspecting husband who was working overtime to fund their affair. The financial records showed a clear, methodical pattern of theft disguised as legitimate business expenses. Jennifer would withdraw large amounts of cash from our joint account claiming they were needed for contractor payments and material deposits, then use that untraceable cash for expensive dinners, shopping sprees, and weekend trips during her romantic dates with Marcus. She had also been systematically using our credit cards for luxury hotel rooms and five-star restaurants, then telling me these were business expenses for her marketing job that would be reimbursed by her company within 30 days. The most sickening discovery was that Jennifer had been documenting her theft and deception like it was some kind of entertaining game or social experiment. I found a hidden folder on her personal laptop titled Renovation Fund Adventures that contained hundreds of photos of her and Marcus at expensive restaurants, luxury hotel suites, spa treatments, and romantic vacation spots, all paid for with money I had earned through months of overtime work and exceptional performance evaluations at my demanding tech job. In this secret folder, there were also screenshots of our bank account balance showing the steadily declining funds, with Jennifer's handwritten notes in the margins calculating exactly how much money she had left to spend before I might start asking detailed questions about renovation costs and timeline delays. She had literally been budgeting my stolen bonus money like it was her personal entertainment and luxury lifestyle fund, planning out weeks and months of expensive dates while I worked late nights believing I was investing in our shared future. But Jennifer made one crucial mistake that would ultimately destroy her entire operation and provide me with the smoking gun evidence I needed for criminal prosecution. She had become so confident in her deception and so comfortable with her elaborate lies that she started recording detailed voice memos to herself, apparently to help her remember the specific details of the fake stories she had told me about renovation progress, contractor delays, and permit complications. In these self-recorded audio files, she methodically practiced stories about supply chain disruptions, permit office bureaucracy, and difficult contractor personalities that she would use to explain why the renovation was taking so long and costing so much money. She even rehearsed emotional responses about how stressful and overwhelming the renovation process was becoming, preparing to manipulate my sympathy and concern while she systematically robbed me blind week after week. The final piece of evidence I needed was absolute proof that no legitimate renovation work had ever been planned, contracted, or authorized for our property. I called the Austin City Permit Office and confirmed that no construction permits of any kind had been filed for our address during the past year. I contacted the 3 major contractors that Jennifer claimed to be working with most frequently and discovered that none of them had any record of our project, our address, or even our names in their customer management systems. I also called our homeowner's insurance company to ask about coverage for renovation work, and they confirmed that no policy updates or liability adjustments had been requested for our property. Every single aspect of Jennifer's renovation story was completely fabricated from beginning to end. I now had comprehensive, irrefutable proof that Jennifer had stolen my entire $45,000 performance bonus through systematic fraud, criminal conspiracy with her affair partner, an elaborate premeditated deception that had been carefully planned and methodically executed over many months. But I still wasn't ready to confront her directly. I wanted to make absolutely certain that she would face every possible legal, financial, and social consequence for what she had done to our marriage and our financial security. I consulted with both a divorce attorney and a criminal law specialist to understand every legal option available to me. The attorneys confirmed that Jennifer had committed multiple felonies including theft by deception, fraud, and potentially conspiracy charges related to her coordination with Marcus. More importantly, they explained that I could recover the stolen money through both criminal restitution orders and civil litigation, plus additional damages for emotional distress and punitive penalties. Instead of confronting Jennifer directly and giving her any opportunity to destroy evidence or flee, I filed a comprehensive police report with all my documentation and formally requested that criminal charges be filed immediately. I also filed for divorce and requested an emergency court order freezing all our joint accounts to prevent Jennifer from stealing any additional money or transferring assets to hidden accounts that I hadn't discovered yet. The police investigation moved with surprising speed because my evidence was so comprehensive, well-organized, and technically sophisticated. The detective assigned to my case told me it was the most thoroughly documented fraud case he had seen in 15 years of financial crimes investigation. Within 1 week, detectives had interviewed Marcus and discovered that he was completely unaware that Jennifer was married and that every dollar she was spending came from theft. Marcus was absolutely horrified to learn that he had been unknowingly participating in a criminal conspiracy and immediately agreed to cooperate fully with the investigation. On a Monday morning in July, I received confirmation that arrest warrants had been issued for Jennifer on charges of theft over $25,000, fraud, and criminal conspiracy. Rather than having her arrested at work and creating unnecessary drama for her colleagues, I decided to let her continue her normal routine and be arrested during her next planned meeting with Marcus at his apartment. That Thursday afternoon, GPS tracking showed Jennifer driving to Marcus's luxury apartment complex for what she believed would be another romantic afternoon funded by my stolen bonus money. Instead, she was arrested in the parking lot by plainclothes detectives who had been waiting for her arrival. Marcus was arrested simultaneously inside his apartment when police executed a search warrant and recovered evidence of their conspiracy. The local Austin news stations covered Jennifer's arrest because the case involved such a large amount of money and such elaborate long-term deception. The headline on Channel 8 News read, "Local woman arrested for stealing husband's bonus to fund luxury affair." And the story detailed how she had used fake renovation projects to justify stealing $45,000 over 3 months while her husband worked overtime believing he was investing in their home. Jennifer's marketing agency immediately fired her when they learned about the criminal charges and realized that her supposed business expenses and overtime work had actually been related to her criminal activities. Marcus lost all of his high-paying personal training clients when the story became public and his reputation was destroyed throughout Austin's fitness community. Both of their comfortable lifestyles and professional reputations were completely obliterated within days of their arrests. During the criminal proceedings, Jennifer's defense attorney tried to claim that she had genuinely intended to use the money for actual home renovations and that the affair was a separate emotional issue that had gotten out of control. But my recorded evidence of her voice memos planning the deception, her text messages laughing about stealing from me, and her detailed documentation of the theft made it impossible for her to deny the premeditated and calculated nature of her crimes. Jennifer was sentenced to 18 months in county jail and ordered to pay full restitution of $45,000 plus 18% annual interest and court-imposed penalties that brought the total to over $60,000. She was also required to pay all my legal fees, court costs, and private investigator expenses. Marcus received 6 months in jail for conspiracy and was ordered to pay joint restitution with Jennifer for all the money they had spent together. The civil divorce proceedings were equally devastating for Jennifer's future financial security. Because she had committed felony crimes involving marital assets, the court awarded me our house, all retirement accounts, both vehicles, and ordered Jennifer to pay me spousal support for 3 years. She lost absolutely everything she thought she had been so clever to steal, plus everything else she had owned before she started her criminal enterprise. Today, 2 years after discovering Jennifer's systematic theft, I've completely rebuilt my financial security and my life in ways that are stronger than anything I had before her betrayal. The court-ordered restitution money allowed me to actually renovate our house with legitimate contractors who did incredible work, and the property value increased by over 30% after the real improvements were completed. I used the insurance money and legal settlements to pay off our mortgage entirely, so I now own my home free and clear. Jennifer was released from county jail 8 months ago and is currently working 2 minimum wage jobs while making court-ordered restitution payments that will continue for the next 12 years. She lost her career in marketing permanently, her professional reputation is destroyed throughout Austin's business community, and she has no chance of rebuilding the comfortable middle-class lifestyle she threw away through her own greed and criminal behavior. Marcus also lost everything that mattered to him. His personal training business collapsed when his wealthy clients discovered he had been involved in a theft conspiracy. and he was forced to move back in with his parents in a different city because he couldn't afford his luxury apartment after losing his income. The lifestyle he thought he was enjoying with a successful businesswoman turned out to be funded entirely by stolen money, and now he's paying the price for his part in Jennifer's criminal enterprise. The most satisfying part of this entire experience is that Jennifer's elaborate scheme to steal her way to a luxury lifestyle backfired completely and catastrophically. Instead of secretly enjoying my hard-earned bonus money while maintaining her respectable image as a devoted wife, she lost her freedom, her career, her financial security, and her reputation permanently. She will spend the rest of her working life paying back money she stole for temporary pleasures that destroyed everything she actually owned. The lesson I want every viewer to take from this story is absolutely critical. Never give anyone unrestricted access to your money without independent verification and ongoing oversight, even if that person is your spouse of many years. Trust but verify every major financial decision, document everything important, and remember that people who are willing to steal from the people who love them will always get greedy and make mistakes that expose their crimes. Most importantly, don't let anyone convince you that financial betrayal is just a relationship problem that should be handled privately. Theft is theft, regardless of who commits it, and criminals need to face legal consequences that protect future victims. Sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the strongest foundation for future success, as long as you're willing to pursue justice no matter how uncomfortable or difficult the process becomes. Thanks for watching Revenge Diaries, where financial thieves always end up paying back more than they stole, where justice always costs criminals more than their crimes were worth, and where the legal system proves that crime never pays when you have the evidence to back up your case. That's how one man's refusal to be a financial victim led to complete justice. Jennifer lost everything she tried to steal and more. If you think she got exactly what she deserved, smash that like button right now. Your support helps more men understand they don't have to tolerate financial betrayal. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell if you want to see more stories where cheaters face real consequences that destroy their lives. I post new revenge stories every week where justice always wins. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever caught someone stealing from you? How did you handle it? I read every comment and want to hear your stories. Thanks for watching Revenge Diaries, where criminals always pay more than they steal and victims become victors. See you in the next video.